You didn't find this video. It found you. It's no accident. It's not random. But beyond the digital, a silent algorithm, an energetic pattern, a ripple in your frequency is calling you in. Maybe you were searching without even knowing it. Not for facts, but for truth. Not for noise, but for resonance. The feeling that something doesn't quite fit with how life has looked, sounded, or felt lately. The sense that something deeper, older, is trying to reach you through the cracks in your everyday life. And now you're here. What you're about to hear isn't for the mind that needs proof. It's for the soul that remembers. This is not a lesson. It is a key. Not a key that opens outer doors, but one that unlocks the inner corridors you've been walking through for years. Reality doesn't change because we chase it. It changes because we finally quiet down enough to see what's ahead. Truth doesn't shout. It whispers, and only those who are listening can hear it. This moment marks a threshold. And thresholds aren't meant to be analyzed. They're meant to be crossed. Because when perception shifts, everything shifts. Not instantly, not loudly, but undeniably. Even if nothing outside has moved, a different world becomes visible. This is the paradox of awakening. Your life may look the same, but you'll never experience it the same way again. You're not just observing life, you're shaping it. With every thought, every belief, every emotion resonating within your energy, you're crafting the world you walk in. Ancient shamans knew this long before neuroscience had words for it. In the work of Mexican healers, the idea that thought affects matter wasn't even up for debate. It was a given. The inner and the outer were never separate. Consciousness wasn't a lens, but a projection. Jacobo Grinberg, a brilliant mind who bridged science and mysticism, explored these ancient teachings deeply and uncovered a truth the modern world still struggles to accept. Thought, emotion, and energy are threads of the same fabric. What you think doesn't just influence what you see, it creates what you see. Grinberg argued that perception physically shapes reality's structure. Time bends, space responds, identity transforms. The matrix isn't fixed, it's a responsive system. You're not a character in this story, you're the author. If your inner world is filled with fear, resistance, or doubt, your outer world will mirror that back to you. Maybe not right away, maybe not obviously, but steadily and surely. Reality doesn't punish you, it reflects you. Because reality is resonance, and resonance doesn't judge, it only seeks balance. That's why, when you shift your inner story from fear to curiosity, from control to trust, the script of your life begins to rewrite itself. Grinberg said silence isn't emptiness, but an interface. It's where consciousness meets the source. When the mind's noise quiets enough, the field begins to speak to you. He refused to seek truth in the external world, on screens or in experts. He believed truth could be found directly in experience, and that's where real wisdom emerged. His disappearance remains a mystery. Some believe it was an act of violence, but those close to his work murmur something else. Perhaps it wasn't a disappearance. Perhaps it was a transition. Have you ever had a moment like this? A place you don't know, but somehow recognize. Someone you've never met, but feel you've known in dreams for years. These are not random events. They are echoes, the matrix responding to your energy. Grinberg taught that when your energy aligns, the universe shifts from chaos to harmony. Not a storm, but a dialogue. Not a maze, but a mirror. This isn't about belief, it's about engagement. Are you willing to sit in silence and listen, to meditate with purpose? To align yourself before your day begins, start here. Shift your focus. This is the first code. It's not your effort, but your awareness that shapes the outcome. Feed your perception with beauty. Anchor your body in the present. Practice gratitude, not as routine, but as a vibrational shift. The Matrix is always listening. Your thoughts aren't unique. They're blueprints. They ripple through the field, drawing people, experiences, and results to you. When you enter a room, you sense the energy before a word is spoken. This isn't just intuition, it's resonance. Life doesn't speak in words, it speaks in energy. The more you grasp that reality bends, the more sacred your thoughts become. Not fleeting noise, but deliberate designs. Most aren't ready for this truth. It demands total accountability. If your world feels bleak, fractured, or harsh, maybe the issue isn't life, it's your signal. Maybe it's time to tune your frequency. When your inner world shifts, the Matrix doesn't push back, it answers. And if reality still feels hollow, perhaps it's just the echo of a numb heart. This isn't blame, it's clarity. Scratch a mirror, and nothing changes. Heal the one gazing into it, and the reflection transforms. Reality is like a dream, except it hears you in real time. Ever notice how gratitude attracts more to appreciate, or how a bad mood twists even kindness into suspicion? This isn't magic, it's alignment. Your inner state filters everything, colors every moment. Change your inner state, and the outer story rewrites itself. Some call it manifestation, others reflection, but dig deeper. The world mirrors not just what you think, but what you believe you're worthy of. And those beliefs often hide in shadows. Childhood rules you never questioned, wounds masked by success, quiet guilt you carry. These are the silent architects. To change your reality, start small, not with revolution, but adjustment. Watch your reactions instead of forcing outcomes. Notice who drains you and who lifts you. Each day, release one limiting belief. Sit with an uncomfortable truth. Cultivate a habit that affirms your worth. These may seem minor, but their energy ripples far beyond what's seen. Every relationship is a mirror, especially the painful ones. Someone who ignores your boundaries, they're testing if you truly hold them. Someone blind to your light, they're waiting for you to see it. A friend who fades as you grow, maybe you've outgrown the person they once knew. Life answers every choice, even the unspoken ones. This isn't about toxic positivity, it's about honesty with your frequency. When your inner world steadies, the outer world follows, not at once, but inevitably. What looks like chance is really harmony. The world doesn't start smiling at you. It always was. You just hadn't looked honestly until now. Some truths don't hide, they just wait. They stand right behind the fog of assumptions, fears, and stories we repeat out of habit. Quietly, patiently, until you pause and truly see them. Most people try to change their outer world while ignoring their inner world, but real transformation begins from within, not just with words, but with frequency, because it's not what you say, but how you say it that the universe hears. When you say, "I am rich," and you genuinely believe it, the universe responds. When you say, "I am ready," and you've truly surrendered, doors open. Want to change the world? Then shift your perception first. To shift your perception, shift your energy. To shift your energy, shift your thoughts and feelings. When you find honesty, peace, and alignment within, the external world simply dances with you. And this dance is nothing but your own rhythm. Eventually, you realize reality isn't a judge, it's an echo. It isn't a system that measures you. It's a frequency that amplifies you. Every thought, every intention, every inner shift falls into the depths of the matrix like a code. And codes find their echo based on the nature of the field. No need to force it, just guide it. So learn to give great meaning to small shifts, because every small awareness creates a ripple that affects the whole. Even when you blink, the world changes. If your gaze is conscious, the real magic begins here, in the unseen, the silent. And you're no longer an outside observer, but the creator within. The veil hiding reality isn't made of cloth, nor is it just an illusion. It's an invisible web woven from unhealed wounds, unchallenged beliefs, and stories that aren't ours. This veil filters what we see as real, making the extraordinary seem ordinary. But these veils only dissolve when we're ready. You can't rip them away by force. They fade through your presence, your awareness, and your patience. Every moment you sit with a feeling instead of fleeing, every time you ask instead of react, you pull a thread. Sometimes the first veil is emotional. The identity you call who I am is often just armor. The thought you defend as realism may just be fear in disguise. When you trace your triggers, instead of justifying them, you uncover old wounds beneath. An argument isn't really about dishes. It's about feeling unheard. Your impatience may not be ambition, but a cry for recognition. There are mental curtains too. They masquerade as wisdom. The world works this way. People don't change. It's too late for me. But these thoughts are often cages. You escape them not by debate, but by new experience. A moment of pure silence, a coincidence too perfect to dismiss, or a message whispered in a dream. Cultural veils also surround us. Norms passed down, unchallenged, accepted without thought. What is success? How much joy is allowed? When are you too happy? These unspoken rules shape lives, families, destinies. But when someone stands up and asks, "What if this isn't right?" an entire lineage begins to stir. True freedom is silent but contagious. And as the veils lift, the world becomes clearer. Not fragile, but transparent. Symbols catch your eye. As you walk down the street, a word, a song, a stranger's gaze guides you. Life takes on a mythical, not mechanical quality, and you realize the curtain wasn't just around you, the curtain was you. A temporary identity, now a veil that's dissolving. That's why healing isn't an option, it's a necessity. If you want to see clearly, you must clear the inner fog. You don't have to fix every wound, but you must feel them. Light can only pass through an unfiltered being. True clarity isn't just knowing, it's becoming transparent enough for truth to move freely through you. And one day, you'll realize that every curtain you lift isn't a loss, but a gain. Every resolution brings you closer to your true self. You see 1111, a feather on the ground. A stranger says exactly what you needed to hear. These aren't just pleasant coincidences, they're coded messages from the unseen. When these patterns repeat, in harmony, it's not chance, it's a language, and synchronicity is the universe whispering to you. You're on the path, it says. Many overlook these moments, but those who listen know these signs aren't random. They appear when your soul aligns. These are sacred touches that bypass the mind and strike straight to your heart. The universe isn't silent because it's uncertain. It's silent because it's sacred. You can't force synchronicities, but you can become the person they find. This happens by quieting the mind's noise, clearing inner chaos, and stepping toward conscious existence. When the mind is scattered, the signs fade. But when it's centered, Even a song on the radio can reveal a hidden truth. Awareness, then, isn't just a skill, it's an antenna. The more open you are, the more signals you receive. And these signals aren't always gentle, kind, or soft. Sometimes synchronicity comes as conflict. When you can't make it to the meeting you needed, doors close, plans stall, but then you see the obstacle set you on a new path. Maybe it led you to the person who'd change your life. The universe doesn't ask permission with timing, it rearranges things, always with purpose. As Carl Jung said, synchronicity arises where the inner world meets the outer. When psyche and cosmos dance, events fill with meaning. This isn't superstition, it's symmetry. And as you learn to trust the pattern, it reveals itself more clearly, first in whispers, then in voices, finally like a guiding melody. One way to deepen your connection with synchronicity is to live with ritualistic attention. Do you keep seeing the same numbers? Write them down. Having strange, meaningful dreams? Write them down. Record those small coincidences that stop you, make you think, stir your soul. Over time, those notes form a non-linear but deeply intelligent logic, teaching you to trust not just life's flow, but your own intuition. These signs don't erase your responsibilities, they illuminate them. Synchronicities don't do the work for you. They simply point you toward the path of least resistance, like letting the current carry you instead of fighting against it. When life aligns with your inner flow, it unfolds like a melody. Over time, your steps sync up, and when that moment comes, when you release doubt, when you pause as your heart races and say, "Yes, this is right," the universe stops hinting and speaks to you plainly. You've felt this before, that certainty that bypasses logic but feels undeniably true. That's intuition. It's not imagination or luck. It's the real voice beneath the noise. It speaks softly, not out of doubt, but because it trusts you'll slow down enough to listen. True intuition is a steady compass, even in chaos. Its only ask is that you don't ignore or silence it, because intuition speaks clearest in quiet. Maybe that's why modern life keeps us so busy. The more noise there is, the harder it is to hear that inner voice. But that voice guides you, and as you heed it, life fills with meaning instead of chance. The universe speaks in energy, and once you understand that language, reality shifts. Everything you're experiencing now could be an echo of a desire you've buried, a feeling you've denied, or a truth you've refused to face. Here's where the choice begins: to repeat the cycle or to recognize it and change course. Because sometimes a new direction doesn't start with a grand decision. It starts with awareness, a word, a glance, or a random song on the radio. Real change doesn't begin by reshaping the world outside. It begins with small steps inward, and each one opens doors to a universe in sync. So ask yourself, what sign did you miss? What synchronicity did you write off as coincidence? What signal can't you ignore anymore? You're not just watching life, you're shaping it, weaving its fabric with your energy. Reality is rewriting itself through you, and the pen is in your hand. Ready to write? If so, reply to the universe by typing, "I'm ready" below. This is where it starts. When you mute the outside noise and turn inward, the world shifts from chaos to harmony. This is awareness. Intuition isn't found by overthinking. It comes from being fully present. The deeper you root yourself in the now, the clearer your guidance becomes. Time stretches, details sharpen, and those quiet nudges turn from whispers into beacons. They guide you. Modern life drowns them out. Endless tabs, distractions, and clutter pull you from your core. But when you return to silence, when you focus on your breath, your body, your posture, you hear it again. A gut feeling, a tug in your chest, wordless but clear as yes or not yet. This isn't mysticism, it's real. It feels like hunger, only harder to define. Animals live by it, children rely on it. In ancient schools of wisdom, this intuition was honed over decades, and you remember it too. Every time you say, "I don't know, but it feels right," your inner compass stirs, and the more you follow it, the sharper it gets. It guides you not to the easy path, but to the true one. Sometimes it tells you to wait, even when your ego pushes forward. Sometimes it steers you in unexpected ways, even when your mind resists. But it never abandons you halfway. We're the only ones who dismiss it. Intuition grows through grounding, closing your eyes, placing a hand on your heart, writing often, and listening to stillness. These aren't rules, but invitations. And with time, that inner voice returns. The compass within leads you to the heart of your life. Inner awareness and intuition feed each other. The more present you are, the more intuitive you become. The more intuitive you are, the deeper your awareness. It's an upward spiral. Then even ordinary moments start to glow, because you're fully here, not lost in thought. Imagine the universe as a vast echo chamber. Every thought, belief, and emotion you hold sends out a frequency, and the world responds. This isn't judgment, it's reflection. Reality is a vibrational mirror of your inner state. It isn't always obvious, but it's precise. If you fear rejection, life will bring people who reflect that. If you resonate with lack, scarcity will find you instead of abundance. This isn't punishment, it's fine-tuning. A system that shows where you're out of balance and calls you back. When the world tests you, ask before blaming. What part of me created this? This isn't guilt, it's pure agency. You change the mirror not by altering the glass, but by healing the one who looks into it. Consider your energetic imprint. The more centered, grateful, and clear you are, the smoother life moves. The more scattered, reactive, or afraid you are, the more everything feels like struggle. These aren't just moods. They're quiet dialogues with the universe. They shape your relationships, your opportunities, even how time unfolds. Reset yourself gently. Start each morning by checking your vibration. Turn to your heart, not your notifications. Speak kindly to yourself. Move your body with care. These aren't just spiritual cliches. They're tools to reset your space. Reality responds to being, not to pressure. You'll notice the mirror has shifted. People will treat you differently without a word. Synchronicities will multiply. The peace within you will outweigh the chaos outside. Life may not be perfect, but it becomes a plane that answers you clearly. This is the gift of alignment. Yes, challenges will still come, but you'll no longer see them as disasters, just feedback. A harsh encounter reveals buried anger. A delay exposes a crack in your confidence. This is data. It's not here to condemn, but to refine. At some point, you stop asking the universe for proof, because you become the proof. You're not just observing reality, you're broadcasting it from within. Every frequency, every emotion, every thought is sent into the universe as a blueprint. You're not watching a movie, you're writing the script, moment by moment. True transformation comes not from words, but from energy. Even if your mouth says, "I am worthy," but your soul whispers, "I'm not enough," the universe responds to that frequency. That's why this isn't about affirmations, it's a journey of vibrational honesty. Thoughts are electric. Emotions are magnetic. When these two fields merge, they shape your reality. The formal matrix Grinberg describes responds to who you are, and what you emit. It answers your vibrations, not your wishes. A powerful tool, conscious visualization. Your imagination isn't fantasy, it's rehearsal. When you visualize your future vividly and emotionally, your nervous system aligns. It's like sending an existential invitation, and the universe receives it. But a warning, your subconscious creates too. If you've buried anger, shame, or fear, they also broadcast. That's why shadow work matters. These emotions aren't meant to be hidden, but brought into the light. Harmony isn't perfection. Harmony is coherence. Life now unfolds less randomly and more deliberately for you, because you're no longer just reacting, you're vibrating consciously. Instead of forcing direction, you're shaping your existence like art. If this message has reached you here, it's no accident. Your inner self called for it. Now you're ready not just to understand reality, but to co-create it. If this stirred something in you, seal it by writing "I'm aligned" below. And if you want to stay open to this wisdom, like, subscribe, and walk this path with us. Because the next message will come when the universe knows you're ready.